says we're live.
Oh, shit, we are live.
Whoops. Wow.
What? Okay, there's 3 people that now it's fine. You have no idea the people that had just joined when we just went through.
Well, me, you more than me. I was just kind of sitting here watching the Robert.
What the? I can't believe we weren't, and then we were. See, that's why I'm the best producer on Facebook. I got this stuff up and running.
You are the shiftiest right now.
For some reason, I got kicked off Facebook. Imagine that.
Imagine that.
Imagine me. But I got back on. I got us back on.
What a concept.
Let me see. We already had, what does it say?
How many? Oh, boy.
Yeah. That's my friend Dominic Marty from Salt, Philly. I got a bunch, buddy. I got a bunch of shows. This is one of them. Yeah. So maybe when you retire, you and I can do a Facebook show or a live stream. We'll do a live stream, buddy. And we
how are your holidays, buddy? Long time no speak.
Yeah. When someone says, "Yeah, I wonder why I got shut down on Facebook." Holidays were good. Holidays were really good. Nice. And we're just gonna let people come in to the live stream.
Yeah.
So, we're gonna have a little small talk beforehand. Christmas was great. My wife, Dr. Vera, got me a really, really, really nice high-end live streaming camera, not a webcam. It's like a real camera. So if my studio looks a lot more clearer than it used to, she's into it. She supports me. So
I like to hear that.
But after a 19-person Thanksgiving, we had a 8-person Christmas, so it was quiet. What about you?
So my thing is Christmas Eve, and I have to give you a thank you. When you shared that other sausage recipe with me for Thanksgiving, you had mentioned
stuffing.
Yeah, the sausage stuffing recipe. I changed it a tiny
always
bit.
Yeah.
But the blue bag of stuffing I made the best lobster pie I've
it's
ever
the
made.
Greatest.
And that was
Petridge Farm Blue Bag. It's the greatest.
Hands down.
Yep.
And it was just fabtabulous. So thank you for that.
All right.
The holidays were great. Hope everyone else had good holidays.
Yeah. We took a couple weeks off, but we're back tonight. So ready to do a good show?
I am definitely ready to do a good show. But I do also, I think, Scott, this bears talking about before we get started, just with the pandemic in Florida, okay? Because I'm psyched to come down there this weekend and be among the free and smart people.
We're happy to have you down
here. Thank you. Yep, thank you very much. Was it not this past August, but the previous August when the Massachusetts elite smartasses, pardon my language, all were laughing and criticizing the Floridians because they were out at the beaches during this pandemic?
Oh, they were having a Massachusetts meltdown.
The horror of it all.
Bad mouthing and yeah.
Isn't it funny now that we're finally going to be catching up eventually to where you guys are? Isn't that funny?
Yeah. And everybody wants DeSantis to be their governor.
110%.
He's not shutting down anything. He's not falling for it. See, Fort Lauderdale, Boca Raton, I can speak of Boca Raton. Boca Raton will not be asking for vax cards, for vax passports. Boca Raton will not be shutting down their restaurants. Boca Raton will not be ordering you to wear a mask when you come into a building. Boca Raton won't be doing any of that. So good luck, Boston.
Mm-hmm.
Good luck. And if you're all for that, then stay there. Stay up there. I'm moving to Florida because you created the monster you live in.
It's off the hook, dude. It's
all blue states. Once again, all blue states.
Off the hook.
Yeah. Anyways.
Yeah. Moving on.
So, well, I want to say something too.
Cool.
So, and it's off that subject. We have new people coming into Winthrop has new people coming onto the town council and the school committee. And as much as we bashed Phil, and at times rightfully so, I still want to give the man credit. He did volunteer to do what he did, although how he did it might have been a problem. But you got to give him credit for stepping up and wanting to do something. Not, as you see, a lot of people do that. A lot of people don't want to step up. They'd rather just sit back and yell from behind their keyboard. So regardless of what job he did, he still did it. So you got to. I want to give him at least credit for that. You know, Richie Farino, he stepped up. He put his time in, and he's not coming back. He opted out of the election. So, good luck to him, and good for you for stepping up to the plate and serving your community. You know, and a few others. Perrin. Brian Perrin, yep, same thing. These people stepped up. You know, they went to the meetings, whether you liked how they voted or not, they stepped up. And you can't take that away from them. You could take away maybe how someone did what they did or why someone did what they did, but they still did it. They still put themselves in that position, which a lot more of you should. A lot more of you should. If you're going to, and you want to make a difference in your community, run for office. If you don't win, at least you gained a valuable experience on how it goes behind the scenes, and maybe you'll have a different outlook on the next election, and you'll know what goes on. But I got to give those guys credit, no doubt about it. And now we got new people. Winthrop has new people coming in, and let's see how they, handle it. Big learning curve. And there's still, though, let's transition into, there's still a seat. There's still a seat.
Well, there's still a seat, and the plot
thickens.
Yeah, it's porridgey. It's not quite, it's porridgey.
I never heard that before.
It's not quite like cement.
Porridgey.
It's porridgey.
So, ice cream.
Yeah, so Phil is allegedly tomorrow evening, and I plan on going down to the hobby room, is going to try again to have the joint meeting. And if there is a quorum, he's going to take a vote. And so here's where it changes a little bit. One, we are not sure. We know that some of the school committee members this time are going to show up. So he may have a quorum. And if that's the case, I'm pretty sure others are going to show up because they're going to, if there's going to be a vote taken, they are going to want to have their vote count.
Yes.
And here's where it gets really cute. There is a potential third name being introduced to this. I'm not going to mention it at this point. I'm just going to say there's a potential third name, potentially being added to the mix, and it's not for the reasons that some people might think it is, from what I'm being told. But I'm not. I hate to do that kind of a thing. I hope I've earned enough trust of some of the folks that listen to this to know that I don't make things up. If I leave something out, is facts in there. I have to protect people because I've given my word.
Right. And you and I have discussed, and it would be an interesting development if it was the case.
Very.
I'd be very curious to see how that turned out.
Could hear the name tomorrow night. It could come up.
Really?
In the meeting, if
they want to vote, they have to put out the name of the people, right? Correct. Someone just casts a vote for them, right?
That is correct.
How do tiebreakers get taken care of?
Great question. And there's not a clear answer. The last I spoke to the incoming council president, he was going to get a legal opinion on that because there's not a clear direction.
How could they not have something in place for that?
Big miss on the chart.
What the hell is going on up there?
Yeah.
How could they not have dot tournaments? Freaking dot tournaments have tiebreakers. Dart tournaments, there's tiebreakers.
Doesn't everything have a tiebreaker?
Well, everything except for college football.
All right, good point.
Yeah. Well, now that they have their little playoff bowl, they kind of fixed that, but it took 80 years to fix that or whatever. Who did not see that? Who's in charge of this thing? Who, over all the last town council presidents and town managers, did they not see if we have a tie in something like this? And if one of the phone lines are open, if somebody wants to call and tell us or even message in how tiebreakers are done with the Winthrop Town Council, the school committee seat, or whatever, I don't know.
Yeah, we're our friends of the show. Help us.
I would think that it would be like the Senate, whereas the town council president stays out of it. And if there's a tiebreaker, then he will step in and make his vote.
Well,
but his vote is just like everybody else's.
Yeah, he sits on both. He sits on both boards, but he's only one vote, in which I don't. Yeah, his vote only counts once, as it should.
Yeah. Well, that's I don't know. You flip a coin, but if it's a three-way tie, then what do you do? Right.
So yeah. So this is just a very interesting, in my opinion, development. I wouldn't be opposed to this person being on there either. Pretty by the book. If the money's not there, you don't spend it type of guy, which is exactly what I'd be looking for.
Right. Yeah.
So there's that, which kind of leads us into school issues, which we've been kind of talking about, right? For, I don't know, several of the last shows.
Yeah.
Rogue, we'll call it rogue for lack of a better term. What is it? Snow person, not Secret Santa. Can't say that.
Oh yeah, what was going on? Teacher told a kid, "Oh, you can't. Christmas music is not acceptable in school." And one of those young progressive teachers in the high school, junior high area changed it from Secret Santa to Secret Snow Person. It's freaking pathetic. But I don't know how these people just got so miserable. I really don't know how they got so miserable. What a miserable life you must have if the word Santa bothers you. I don't care if Father Walter's watching. He's like, Scott, don't call people names.
Father Walter, go easy now.
Father Walter, I'm just gonna say it. It's to go that far. That's disgusting. That is a miserable human being, right there.
Are we not allowed to? That raises a good point. Kind of getting a little off topic, but are we not allowed to have an opinion about these things?
Yeah. But I like when I called them race grifters. That group, Father Walter didn't seem to like that too much.
Well, some people don't
like. Hey, a grifter is a grifter. It is a grift is a grift. It looks professional on the surface. That's why it's a grift. Which, by the way, the Irish created that. The grifters.
Another fantastic contribution to society.
Yeah. The travelers. They were called travelers. They travel all through the South, and they were just con men and grifters. Anyways. See, I know my Irish history. Who was it that called me out on that? 5-6 episodes ago.
Yeah, so, I mean, it basically kind of a hodgepodge of school issues in the school, frankly, that I'm very concerned about. And it's all kind of intertwined, right? It's wokeness, it's CRT, we know there's not a curriculum, but we have pretty much proven that there are at least elements of it injected. We're going to talk a little bit more tonight about a very particular issue that is recent, and it's kind of married to another issue that we'll introduce. But anyway, overall, we've been talking about all these kind of issues that have come up, and it's, for me, what it really boils down to is the parents are always finding things out late, and they're not able to find out enough. Some of them probably, frankly, don't care, right? Maybe I make more out of things than I should. I don't know. Welcome to have people come on and tell me I shouldn't be concerned that, and I'll introduce the subject, that, in one of my child's, well, not in his classroom, but one of his teachers was busted for using inappropriate language. He was using verbal communications towards students regarding masks and vaccinations, and used really, really lousy language, very inappropriate. And disciplinary, I requested the disciplinary records. Unfortunately, they fall under the exemption that excludes that type of information. So there is an exemption. Thought we would be able to get it with the names redacted. We're not going to release names. But essentially, kids were called selfish, expletive for having masks down under their nose or down on their chin, etc.
Well, this is a live stream. There's no censoring here. What exactly were they called?
I'm going to say potentially the fuck was one of fuckers, or selfish fucks or something like that. Selfish bastard, selfish something like that.
And this show isn't, like we said, we don't like to swear randomly, or it slips out every once in a while. But if that's in the context of he called these kids, what were they?
I'm going to let's agree that, and I just shared the document with you, so you can put it up if you want. Selfish bastards.
Selfish bastards.
Or selfish fucks.
See? And this is going on in our schools. Oh, what did I just get here? I'm looking at something else that popped up on my screen. Yeah, have at it. You can read it if you want. I'm trying to get rid of something that's...
Okay. All right. Well, I think the important piece is a couple things. One, there was this is the second offense, but not in the same school year, apparently. This person, I requested documentation. This is what I got. The first time was about getting vaccinations. It was actually a very political statement. There was a disciplinary action, or at least a discussion then. There was a leave of absence. The two documents, notice of the investigation and administrative leave. And there was discipline notice, a discipline imposed on the teacher that we're not allowed to know what it is. My personal opinion is it doesn't go far enough, candidly, because he's still there. And this is twice. And I want to raise an example because I don't think this is being handled fairly. The reason I was given that this person's still here, I haven't verified this, but it kind of makes sense that finding these types of teachers is very difficult. And we wouldn't want the kids to not have a teacher. Now, yeah, there was another faculty member and coach whose contract was not extended for an alleged, I don't know if it's true or not, an alleged crime of using a tobacco product in front of the children. Don't know if it's true. I have no idea. All I know is no warnings, no nothing, and no hearings, no investigations. How is that treating?
And what was his penalty?
What was his penalty? He's gone. His contract for coaching was not extended. And
so they can always fall back on that. Well, we weren't happy with your performance, but you can say pretty much that was probably what it was because of. But we can't. That's only speculation, and we're not going to hold that.
You're right, Scott. You're speculating, but here's the gig. So all right, so fine. Let's take that piece out of it.
Yeah.
I think that this is poor leadership. You're leading from behind. You're leading from weakness. You're operating from a position of weakness by saying, well, we can't replace them, so we have to keep them. Like, think about what that says.
He has carte blanche to do whatever he wants.
Well, that too.
Pretty much. That's how I see it. So this guy's like, what are they going to do to me? It's like when I was getting ready to retire. I don't care if I messed up, which I didn't, but if I messed up, they're going to write me up. I don't care. I'm retiring. there's nothing, there's no punishment you're going to do to me because you need me right now, and then I'm retiring. So this teacher, gets away with it twice,
And again,
it seems.
Yeah, and this is all made possible. People are going to start getting mad at me, but viewers who watch this, parents, especially moms who want to protect their kids, understand that this doesn't just extend to this type of behavior. I mean, you can go on, correct me or help me remember, Scott, the name of that media outlet that posts like the teacher Lester of the week. It's not a Babylon Bee by any stretch, but it's, you know what I'm talking, Turtle Boy.
Oh, right? Turtle Boy. Yeah.
Turtle Boy. Right. They have a weekly teacher who was busted for having sex with a kid in school.
Right.
This stuff is all protected. Is probably not the best word to use, but for lack of a better term, it's protected by these contracts. There's this language and loopholes that, first of all, keep this type of stuff, private, right? That these exemptions that exclude the public from knowing what the crimes or the infractions of their kids' teachers are.
There's there's due process, right?
Mm-hmm.
Everybody's innocent until proven guilty.
Mm-hmm.
There has to be an investigation. You have to, once you get the result of the investigation, then it gets turned over to the disciplinary board or whoever's in charge of discipline. And it's on them. It's really on them to do what's right in the discipline department. And if your reason for not firing somebody or suspending somebody is because, well, we don't have that type, we have a hard time getting that type of teacher. Well, then suck it up. You're going to keep a crappy teacher in there? What would you rather have? Oh, I guess it's, we need quantity, not quality, right? So how about having a lesson plan, having some substitute teachers come in and follow the lesson plan, right? I don't know. Maybe that's too easy. Maybe I'm simplifying it. But to have a teacher in there that now knows that they can get away with calling kids selfish bastards because they're not masked up properly. And you see a lot of these videos, like on the internet, of these teachers going ballistic on kids because they're not wearing their masks, or they don't like, they're against the protests last summer or whatever. You see a lot of that. None of these people seem to be conservatives. I'm just saying. But that's just my opinion.
Well, so just play that out for a second. If I was in a classroom, I would feel really funny calling anybody a selfish bastard or a fucking selfish bastard. Sorry again.
No, it's in the context of what we're talking about.
Context. If I wouldn't feel comfortable saying that in a classroom environment like that, and I feel free to use that language, regularly. So,
but when they know that they have the union behind them, and they probably have other teachers, there's other teachers in there that they're all a band of brothers in there. We'll stick together because that's what happens. Teachers, sometimes is the case of the teachers become like the students. You know what I mean? Because they're around them so much all the time. Their attitude and their behaviors become student-like. They go down to that level where I know when I was going through, these teachers, they weren't down at our level. They didn't try to come down to our level. But that was then. This is now. New generation.
I mean, and in fairness, parents won't let things happen that happen. I mean, I was made, my football team was made to change in the parking lot after a pretty embarrassing loss or performance in a scrimmage game against
let that happen today. Let that happen today.
Right.
Oh, so, good Lord.
And my father's like, good, you guys look like you didn't belong in the men's room. You know what I mean?
Who's the superintendent? Who's the superintendent?
Right now? Lisa Howard.
Lisa Howard, that's right.
Mm-hmm.
She's ultimately responsible for this.
Well, I mean, she is the superintendent, and
starts at the top.
And I invited to come on. She does say this is not her kind of thing, which I can respect. But I will always leave the invitation out there. We are always open to be corrected. We'd like to get to the bottom of it to the extent that we can. And we'd like to see, I guess I'm probably the only one, but I don't know. I don't think that type of person belongs in our school system when they're going to essentially be political, because this is the same guy that also, I believe it's the same guy that also said they have this wake up Winthrop video in the morning that goes out, the kids can watch, I guess. And he was disappointed in 75 million people who voted for Trump. I mean, the kids know his politics. He has failed as a teacher on that front.
Yet he's still teaching in the Winthrop school system.
Right. And I say this, I've said this before and I get in trouble, but I don't care anymore. I threw the marker down years ago. The teachers union protects this. If you want to, and you hear, when I served, you don't respect teachers. You don't respect. No, I don't respect the type of behavior that I see, leveraging children, demanding raises when you know the budget's not in a situation that to pay you those types of raises that you're getting, completely strapping the district, and then beating up on the school committee when they try to show a modicum of fiscal responsibility. I don't respect that. I also do not respect, and I said this openly to any teacher that I know isn't with the union, but just is afraid and wants to keep quiet. I've said this too. I don't respect that. You have the right now to not give them money. When you give them money, you give them power to do what they're doing. And they, the leadership, disrespects you because they feed you with propaganda. It's an insult to human intelligence, is what it is.
Jared Wickham says that's a different teacher that we're talking about the first offense. The one you were just talking about.
Thank you for correcting. Sorry, I take it back.
Yeah. And regardless, that's okay, but still.
It's still happening in the schools.
Yeah. Yeah, and what's not being reported?
Well, right. This is just what I'm finding out. And my child is completely uncomfortable sharing this stuff with me because he doesn't want to be called out. And I tell him, I am sorry, I don't make him. He gives it to me, but he's uncomfortable.
Yeah, I had found out that some kid got called out by a group of other kids because they had wished someone a Merry Christmas or something like that. And there was a small group that bullied them. They were basically progressive high schoolers that decided they're going to bully this kid, because that's not proper terminology. We don't use that. What if I don't celebrate Christmas? Well, I'm not getting into the whole thing. It went down. It's not something made up. I got that told to me. So the teachers will support that too. And there are good teachers in there that don't go along with this stuff. But unfortunately, it seems they don't want to speak up because the leadership is full of liberal progressives. They want to make a change. They are, in a sense, indoctrinating. Not all of them, not every teacher, but there's a handful of them that have no problem doing it, and they know they won't get in trouble for it. And the superintendent is letting the inmates run the asylum. So.
And look, we put this thing together to bring things out into light. I feel like this is something that should have light shown on it. Maybe, it's not, there are obviously things we need. You're right. Due process. People have the right to defend themselves, et cetera, et cetera. There was a disciplinary action taken. So that means something was done wrong, right? So due process happened. Why can't we know the result? It depends on how they classify it too. I guess there's different classifications, right?
Yeah.
And it adds a layer of protection that's just kludgy enough that you can't get at the information.
You said kludgy?
Yeah, I did.
And porridgey?
I guess
you like those words in the G tonight, don't you?
Yeah.
Kludgy and porridgey. Yeah. See, I listened to you.
Yeah, I don't know why.
I pay attention. Let's see. So good to you. Hey, Wendy. Happy New Year.
And a great question.
So good teachers can't be progressive, but they are good if they display conservative value. I didn't say that.
No.
I said liberal progressive teachers that teach that, and I was playing off of Todd's. They know that when the kid knows a progressive teacher's politics, yeah, Wendy, they're not good teachers.
Right.
Yeah. If a kid comes home, if my kid came home and said, "Oh, my English teacher, yeah, she's talking about BLM and CRT and all that," bad teacher. But so, you do not hear absolutely zero conservative teachers getting called out for promoting a conservative value. You don't hear that. And Wendy, prove me wrong. I dare you. I will. When next time I go to Winthrop, I will buy you dinner.
Yeah.
At McDonald's.
No, it's gone.
I know it's gone. I know. If you can find a conservative teacher that's been called out for voicing their conservative values, they don't do it. That's the difference in the people. That's the difference in the style.
Progressives are good teachers if they keep their politics out of it.
If they keep the politics, just stick to teaching, that's great.
And stop having a "I know everything better than you" attitude.
But it seems there's a handful of them that just can't help themselves.
No, they can't.
Not saying all progressive teachers are bad. They're not. But the handful the few bad apples.
Yes.
Few bad apples. Few bad progressive teachers, give all of them. Few bad cops, give all cops bad name. Same world.
And by the way, I believe that's Jared that's saying you cannot promote a conservative value in schools. Is that from Jared?
Let's see. I've been on the administrative end of disciplining staff. It's a lot more challenging. No, it's not easy. Discipline it shouldn't be easy, number one. But if you're going to discipline someone, there has to be due process, and there has to be a proper evidence, and yada, yada, yada. Let's see. Yeah, he said, and you can't promote a conservative value in schools. You can't.
Wait a minute. My son experienced a teacher completely calling him out for sharing his progressive question.
Let's see.
He's not a teacher. He's a student.
My son experienced a teacher completely calling him out. A teacher called him out for sharing his progressive questions, and that's good, as he should. I said they're not all bad. There's a handful that aren't. And that teacher did the right thing. That progressive, or evidently the teacher's not a progressive, or they are. You're not saying whether they are or they aren't. You're saying the kid asked a
progressive question.
A progressive question, and the teacher. So you don't know if that was a progressive teacher.
And what's the question? Maybe it's not appropriate for asking the question in school.
You need more context, Wednesday.
Stretch.
Wednesday.
Stretch.
No, Wendy, we need more context.
Yeah, we're not smart enough for that one.
There was a lot that went on in there. There's also severe sense of entitlement with new teachers. There you go. That's right. All right. What did Wendy say? No, they told him it was not appropriate. Good. Why is he asking progressive questions in class anyways? If it's not related to the topic.
Well,
or was he? Or was it related to the topic?
Was it in health? Was it in
more context?
More context.
We need more context. What was the question? What was he referring to?
Happy New Year.
Hey, Bill Aldridge, my old flight chief. Nice. Way back in the day. Happy New Year, Bill.
Fellow Air Force
back at Mather Air Force Base in Sacramento.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Yeah, Bill had a lot of patience with me.
Doesn't everybody?
He's a good dude. Evidently, I deserved it. He thought I deserved to have patience. I could be a handful, I guess. I don't know. I was a good troop. Sometimes, most of the time. But all right. So, hey, is there something going on with the building next to Nick's, in between the fire department and Nick's? Are they looking to put condos there?
Oh, I did not. That used to be the old MSA mortgage place you'd think you're talking about. Right? It was.
I remember back in 86, 87, that was a gym.
Yeah, it was a gym then. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I had heard something about that, but I don't know who's behind it. I don't know. I had heard it's probably going to be condos, though. It's. I mean, the as you know, the dam has been broken. If you've not, have I sent you any pictures of the behemoth across the street from the old Twin Bakery, the old CVS building?
No. Is that the one on what's the name of the street?
You asked me that, and I should know it. Somerset.
Yeah, I was going to say Sunrise. Somerset.
So it used to be the old. They had the jewelry store there, the TV repair shop, the CVS building. It's now
Right.
Mixed use, right?
Mixed use.
4 stories, and the concession to the abutters was to have setbacks. And I might be getting this wrong, but I could have sworn the concession with the abutters was they would have the top floor have setbacks around the whole 4th floor. So it didn't look.
Let me interrupt you 1 second because Jared just messaged in. Happy to chat anytime. Call in one day.
Yeah,
Jared. Call us. Oh, we can bring you on. We can bring you on the screen. Just let us know. But we'd love to talk about that. Absolutely. If you have you seem to have a perspective on both sides, so we'd be more than happy to have you on. We'll have anybody on. If anybody wants to come on and talk about whatever topic they want to talk, you already know that we're not going to attack you. We're not going to ambush you. We just want to have a conversation.
Right.
You know. So, also Todd's lobster pie is legendary.
Yes.
Good for you.
Yes, the Wickhams came over and enjoyed it. This last one, I'm telling you, man, I was like, and I wanted to marry it.
There you go. Petrotron Blue Bag. So back to the Somerset.
Yeah. So anyway, it was supposed to have a setback to make it look, you know how if you have a straight wall going way up, it just looks more ominous.
Yeah.
The setbacks are only on the sides. I don't know. It looks like a big giant building. And candidly, could I live with it in the center district? Yeah, I mean, it's going to change the fabric of Winthrop a little bit, but can we still be a family-oriented community like that? I believe we can. It's when we start building them everywhere, and they're going to be up and down the beach. They're coming.
They're coming, buddy.
They're coming. It's too late. The ball's already rolling, and it's too late. And it's a shame, but, you will see, it's not going to be like Revere. It's going to be exactly like Revere from the perspective of the fabric is going to change more. Like Revere is gone family-wise. Where do the families live in Revere?
Right. Yeah, it's again, and they're not concerned about the infrastructure. They're not concerned about that, it seems like.
Right.
Just let's develop, let's get things developed in Winthrop for the tax purposes, which condos pay way less than houses, and we'll deal with that stuff later. It's a bad idea.
It's not gonna. If they
there
don't,
should be a moratorium. Take a year off and just take a really good look, do a study, get a grant, and see how much more Winthrop's infrastructure can take before it's unbearable to live there.
And not to mention, public safety and those resources are required. At some point, your population density reaches a certain area. Public safety has to be adjusted to accommodate. There's a cost to that. You lose any benefit. There's no real benefit to this type of development other than to make the town look prettier. That's about it.
And that's not always a good reason.
No.
Winthrop's a pretty town no matter how you look at it. Winthrop's a good-looking town anyways. It's a money maker. It's a money grab for developers that come in and they see this diamond in the rough as, what's his name? A dude that I had a couple rounds with on Facebook came from East Boston to Winthrop, and he's like, oh, you old school Winthropers, you're just mad because you don't want it. He had a name for us, like, I forget what it was.
Boomers? Was he calling
No. It had something to do with living in Winthrop, the old time Winthropers or something like that. Yeah. And we're a new generation, we're a new breed coming in, and you don't like our no, I don't effing like your ideas because Winthrop doesn't need it. It doesn't need it. Go clean the beach like you said you do. That's a good thing. That's progressive. That's productive. Go right. Clean the beach, But, and listen, the center project's going to come out nice in the end.
It is. It's
going to nice. That was a big change for the town, and people will settle into it. It'll be nice, and people will adapt to the parking arrangement, and or people just won't go down there. It's going to end up one way or another.
Your senior citizens are going to struggle with it, and people with families that drive the minivans and such might, they're not going to.
Unless they're electric.
Yeah. The center business district is still not, it's not going to, like, you remember we had the town shop.
It's
we
never going to be like it used to be.
You could, it's too expensive to run a pop shop now. You got Amazon dropping it at your door.
Yeah.
So you got to get creative with whatever, 4XR. I don't know. Did you know 4XVR? A friend of mine had this business. And they're leaving Winthrop because 80-something% of their business came from outside Winthrop. If we could support those people to have, Blackstrap was fine for them to go and eat, but we needed more choices for those people, things for them to do. A gaming district would be a great idea.
Oh, Winthrop just becomes a restaurant town.
Yeah. Like
just
Newburyport.
Yeah, just if you have how many restaurants are in there right now?
All right, let's
offhand, 6?
Yeah, 6, 7, 8, no, 6. 1, 2, 3 at the mall. 4. Well, if you count Katie's place,
sure,
healthy food place. Yeah, you can eat there. So 4 over there. Yeah, you got about 8 or 9, actually.
Restaurants in Winthrop.
Yep.
And they all seem to
food service. Cafe,
and they all seem to do well. They do okay, right?
That's the Lettieri's. Yep. You got the Chinese food place. You got the breakfast place.
Well, Chinese food restaurants never close. They are recession proof. If you've ever noticed that. There's 2 things that never close in a recession. Never. Chinese food and cheesecake factories. They never close. They don't. Prove me wrong. Prove me wrong.
The Lux or something like that.
Yeah, they're closing those.
Wow.
Yeah. They're owned by the Cheesecake Factory. We stayed lunch there on my granddaughter's birthday.
Wendy has a good question. How can we increase our tax base? Did you see? You can't. I mean, you got to live within our means. We have to stop.
That's the $1 million question, isn't it?
You can't. Overrides, and people aren't going to keep going for them. So we have to live within our means. I've said this. I've been saying this for years.
So sacrifice the infrastructure, sacrifice the quality of living in Winthrop so we can get our tax, increase.
Let's start by having the town employees pay 20% of their insurance, please. Let's just start there. That's a start.
Yeah. Well, you know what? Like the man said in the...
I'm sorry. It's not fair.
Like Dirty Harry said in the movie, sacrifices have to be made, mister.
That's it.
That's it. Town, people are going to have to eventually... Let me see. Thai food coming. Hey, there you go.
Food.
There you go. Kurt Millar, brother of the sister who's friend of the show.
Family friends of the show.
Family friends of the show. We have Grace restaurants, more coming, and that's good. You know what I mean? Winthrop maybe will become a restaurant town, and people will come in, eat their food, and get out. I don't know.
You have places like Gunkwit, Maine. Okay, those businesses are summer because they have a great oceans up there. Fall, right? They don't get a lot of winter business. It's summer and fall, and it's over.
Yeah.
Why can't we be more like that, where they have the shops, the art stores with those? Do you think something like that might, music, wine shops with that? Do you think that might draw? I don't know.
Well, you got to get businesses in there first. You have to have places for the businesses to be. I think one of the most underused streets in Winthrop is Shirley Street.
1,000%.
So much potential for Shirley Street.
Well, all those
so much potential.
Deckers scare people away. It looks run down and scary.
Well, if you redo the facade of the other cross street, put down brick pavers, put in those gas lights, put some tables outside, whatever. But Shirley Street is a very undervalued, underused, with a lot of potential street.
Yeah,
I always thought that Shirley Street always had this kind of dingy, dark kind of feel to it. From where Bernie Bash's was all the way down to what we used to call Delby's Corner.
Bernie Bash's, Jesus.
Yeah, Delby's Corner. Bernie Bash's to Delby's Corner.
65-cent, what are those, hourglass Coke bottles, remember?
Oh, no, they were 25 cents a one. They were the coldest sodas. We would walk from the beach to Bernie Bash's bare feet because that's what we did back then. And for a quarter, you put it in, you open that, the machine, you pull out the glass bottle, and that was the coldest soda in Winthrop. but you couldn't leave it. He come out, his glasses were Coke bottles.
Yeah.
Bernie Bash's glasses were thick. I mean, that dude could see into the year 2025. It was, and he wouldn't let you leave. The bottle stays.
Yeah, because you used them.
Yeah. He couldn't see his hand in front of his face, but he could see if you were walking away with a bottle. That's for sure.
Oh yeah,
you got money for those. What do we got here? Salem does a great food too. Yeah, maybe. I'm telling you that there's potentially. I think people are just looking. They're not looking how to. I don't know.
Hannah, we're gonna count on you as the incoming precinct 3 counselor to do 2 things. Work something on work. We talked about some of these things. Get some of that stuff going on the beach, the Point Beach we talked about with the vending and such. And I think restricted parking. I'm sorry, but I do think that's necessary for the residents down there. And then we want 2 rinks in a hotel down Ingleside. I think you and I both know this is going to work for us. If that's a great way to raise
that is
revenue,
huge,
because
huge revenue money.
People to come in, spend, and leave.
They come in. They have hockey tournaments. Restaurants are sold out all weekend. Then they get the hell out of Dodge.
The pro shop will benefit from that.
That would be. That's
shopping, tape. I mean, this is good stuff. We should do it.
That would be a huge boost to the economy in Winthrop. Absolutely.
And Scott, little side note on hockey. Okay, Winthrop hockey, synonymous.
Yeah.
At least it used to be. Because the boys had to start a little late. This whole COVID, it's just a weird time in Winthrop when hockey has got low numbers. They don't have a freshman team.
Wow.
Yep. Imagine that.
Well, let's see. What do we got? I'm open to the Rink Hotel. Want to look more into the revenue. Oh, there's a lot of revenue.
Marlborough, Massachusetts is a great case study, even though it's not fair because they're right on the 495, etc. But we got the airport right here. Yep. And hockey people fly. They definitely fly to their tournaments.
Yeah, Winthrop would they would definitely benefit hugely.
Yeah.
Bigly is my favorite president, you say. Winthrop would benefit bigly. Bigly. We just lost 10 viewers.
Marlborough, actually, that whole area now is the hotels always have their rooms rented. The restaurants are doing better. The rink itself sells a lot of. They got pro shops in the rink. It's really a.
Is that going to come up?
Oh, did it come up?
It came up. Yeah. Hey, look! Didn't the hotel in East Boston that's up by the cross, up by the hill? What's it? A Hilton?
The Courtyard Marriott there.
Didn't they just have a giant extension addition put onto that? So what does that tell you?
The hotel business, the business traveler, not necessarily business traveler, but those types of boutique
people traveling to Boston.
They're doing very well.
Yeah, people travel into Boston. They stay in Winthrop and they drive into their, or they Uber into their appointments, that's the answer.
Scott, Uber. 60 in Revere over by Northgate. There's what, 3 or 4 now little boutique hotels over there too. It's crazy.
Yeah, that's the answer. With the whole dynamic of that town would change. Or they could paint the water tower a Bud can and they get millions and millions and millions. That
was your era.
and then well, listen, then let all these other companies like Campbell Soup bid for the contract, or let Pepsi bid for the contract. Hundreds of millions of dollars will come into Winthrop. Guaranteed.
They
just got to change the bylaw. That's all.
Hannah, I feel you on this, but we need to get East Boston people on here too. I get infuriated when people block that box. The arrogance.
What am I missing?
All right, so
context.
They may not have these in Florida, Scott, but up here, because we have so many roads streaming into things and traffic lights, like if you remember going out of Winthrop to go to 1A, you go straight by the rotary, by the old New Tread tire, and you just keep going straight. There's a light up there before you get onto 1A. Well, they put a box. They painted a big box on the street with X's in it that says "Don't block the box," so that merging traffic can cut through and go left. So it just, if you wait and allow the traffic to move, right, at a yellow light, you don't race to get stuck in the middle of the intersection. You sit back at the yellow light, and if it turns red, F you got to wait for the next green one instead of blocking the intersection, right? Same concept, because it creates more context. Hannah, I'm with you. It drives me bat poop crazy, and I want to fight people.
There you go.
So I have to count home.
All right. Well, before we stop fighting, we're coming up on an hour, buddy.
Yes, we are.
Coming up on an hour. So let's wrap this up. So let's kind of recap. We talked about the teacher in school that got disciplined. We just don't know what the discipline was. I thanked Phil for his service, and Richie Farino and Perrin, and I don't know anyone else that's leaving. People should be more involved in their community politics. It can't hurt. It's a great experience. Just got to do it once, and maybe you'll want to do it twice. What else am I missing? Other condos going up next to Nick's. We'll talk more about that when we find out more about that.
Yep.
And what else?
We're probably going to say this over and over again, right? But all politics starts at the local level. It really is where it all is, and it starts and stops there, as far as I'm concerned. And we're broken records, but when you don't get involved, when you're not paying attention, it's when the things that we bring to light happen, and we'd really like to prevent it.
Well, this show was started on Phil flying that pride flag when he wasn't supposed to.
That's right. And, there's obviously going to be more things to come. I hope, I've said this before, I hope we kind of go out of business, if you will. I hope we run out of things to talk about, because that means everyone's doing what they're supposed to do, making mistakes or otherwise.
And if people have a topic they want us to talk about, or they want to talk about, just message me or message Todd. Let us know. We're all ears. We are not pretentious. We'll discuss any issue you want to discuss. That's why we're here. We want to get it out there, and we want people to know what's going on. This show is built on Winthrop government and Winthrop it's like public works, etc. Transparency. When we find stuff out, we want to let you know. If you find something out, let us know, and we'll let everyone know. Everyone that watches or listens.
Yeah, and Kurt, if you'd like to chit chat, private message me, and we'll talk about, if you want to come on and state your case and try to apply pressure to the council.
Yeah,
we're happy to help.
All right.
That's
it, buddy.
Yeah. So, guys, another good one, Scott. Right? Good.
Yeah. We started off 2022 a little technical difficulty, but I fixed it because I'm the best producer on Facebook.
There's no question about it. I mean, who else could not? I mean, there was not a bead of sweat coming down your forehead.
I'm used to this. My other live streams, it happens too. So I'm used to this by now.
So we're meeting on Saturday, right? We're going to meet for lunch on Saturday.
Yeah, you're coming down to the Freeland.
Yeah, and the game got moved to 4.
Okay.
I'm excited to come down there and go, oh, I don't need to put this thing on my face. Oh, that's fantastic. Oh, you don't want my Vax card. Oh,
I made reservations at S3 right on Fort Lauderdale Beach.
Nice.
We'll be sitting outside. Yeah.
Perfect. I love that.
Because once you come down to my part of the world, I take over. It's all, and I'm buying lunch. Don't even try to dispute it. No, and then you just buy me lunch when I go up to the motherland.
All right, I can't wait.
But it seems like that's not going to be for a while now.
Yeah, too cold.
No, too controlling. Too controlling.
Yeah. You need to be tested. Oh, please don't come here. It's scary.
Nah, I have really no desire to. Trust me. Trust me. But all right, buddy.
Yeah, guys, listeners, share. Come on, challenge us, correct us, provide us with anything you're hearing out there. We want transparency in government, because all good politics starts at the local level.
That's it. All right, we'll see you next Monday night.
Peace.
And Todd, I'll see you Saturday, but stay on.